Hey guys, what's going on? Let me gather myself. All right. So I want my channel to be as authentic as possible, almost like a reality TV show, okay? I want you guys to feel like we are the best of friends. I really created this channel because one, just insightful community and just allowing people into my personal space. That's one thing that I want to work on because that's one thing that I do not allow people to do. I'm not very big on vulnerability, especially people I don't know. So I'm using this channel to allow me the space to do so, right? Because I feel like me not being vulnerable has costed me opportunities in relationships, all because I just don't want to be vulnerable for reasons that I'm not even going to get into right now. However, I literally just got home. I wanted to dedicate this time to really make this video, especially while it's fresh on me. I just left a 4-day training out in the field. Nails broken, hair look a mess, I look a mess, still smelling like outside. I have not even showered. I literally just walked through the door, and I wanted to be so dedicated to this channel that I want to give y'all real-time videos, real-time energy, right? And making sure that I just stay consistent. That's another thing that I wanted to work on, as we are always talking about reset era, just staying consistent, whether it's perfect, whether it's this, whether it's that. Now, I'm not saying just have looking on top of crazy, but I am saying it's just like show that consistency. That's the best way to build community. And I feel like that's another thing that I lack. So in this season of my life, I'm just trying to just rearrange things, doing things a little different if I'm not seeing the outcome that I want to see, regardless if it's something the world is seeing or if it's just something me personally that you guys don't even get to see, but it's just my personal goals that I'm gonna work on. So consistency is one, and being vulnerable is another, alongside a couple other things. However, welcome to my channel. Shouts out to you if you have watched my first video. If you have not, make sure you go watch it after you watch this video. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe, all that cute YouTube stuff. So I just got back in for my 4-day training. And the training was actually like a few hours out. If you want to see some content, make sure that you go on my TikTok or maybe the shorts, because I'll probably post some little informative little videos there or entertaining videos. I don't know. But however, I'm back. I said that about 4 or 5 times. Sorry, I'm drained. We were outside, we were training, we were intense. We were at the shooting range. We did a whole bunch of cool stuff. Surprisingly, I actually enjoy being in the Army Reserve. Now, I can't speak about active because active is not my it is not my ministry right now. It's reserve. I actually enjoy Army Reserve. That's just me. So let's just talk about just me unwinding. So I've been back in Houston for, I want to say maybe like 3 weeks now. Of course, you guys know the theme of my life right now is reset era. So just resetting, regrounding. The Army life is something totally new to me. Never in a million years would I have ever thought I would join the Army, but here I am. So that's one take I want you to take. Like, never say what you wouldn't do, and you just never know how life is going to go, whether you are in a screwed up situation or whether you are having the best of the best of the best of your life. You just do not know where life is going to take you. So take it one step at a time and enjoy the journey. You know, like, stop, smell the roses, enjoy the journey. Never say what you would not do, because you just never know, negatively or positively. So here I am in the Army. Never thought I'd do it. Never thought I'd actually enjoy it. You know, I actually enjoy it. I'm not gonna say I hate it. I'm not gonna say, oh my God, it's the best, but it's not bad. However, I finally started moving some furniture in. As you guys can see, I'm not gonna do a house tour. This is just my reset location. So I'm not gonna do a home tour. Just not very important right now. But what do I want to talk about? Because this is really impulsive, and I just want to give you guys something while I'm still in the mood. Because once I wind down, baby, I'm gonna cook me some dinner tonight. I'm gonna eat some salmon, sweet potato, and edamame, one of those things. However you say it, that probably a nice little cocktail, and I'm going to take a nice hot shower, and then that is it. Sorry, but I might call in tomorrow because I'm not in the mood. Oh, I rolled my ankle before we even left the unit. If it started feeling a little better, I might go to urgent care, may not. I don't know. I want to give you guys some takeaways. I feel like it's me getting into my unit. I like my unit. Actually and honestly, I do like my unit. The people there are cool. Of course, you're gonna have different personalities, but I like my unit. I met a group of women this weekend. They're pretty cool. I think I met them prior to this weekend, but this weekend we really had more time to, like, you know, get to know each other, so forth and so on. They're pretty cool. Everybody in general just pretty informative, help out where need be. One of the things that I love about the Army is like the resources and the community and the family vibe. I like that. Of course, there is some negatives that come with everything, but I personally like that. That's my takeaway from the weekend. I learned some things. We did qualifications. I'm not even gonna get into that because it's not even that type of video, but I just want to just share my weekend with you guys. So I did that. We did qualifications. Qualifications, basically, if you do not know what I'm talking about, is we had to go to the shooting range, and every year we have to make sure we qualify, hit a certain amount of targets, so forth and so on. So that's what this weekend was about. That's that. I'm also gonna do a video, probably a short about my nails, so make sure you go watch that. Aside from that, just in my personal life. So yeah, I'm just grounding, getting settled in. It's a lot going on at the same time, but I'm built for it. I get a rush. So that's that. I don't really have no friend circle here in Houston yet. So we're working on that, and I also want to keep you guys updated on that. Like, you know, because this is my reality show, okay? You are the audience. This is my reality show. Also, I want to keep you guys updated on my dating life as well. I am dating. You know what? I'm not really dating. Right now, I'm just like, okay with being friends. You know, like, I'm okay with being friends. I don't even want to really say I'm dating. I feel like I'm probably not going to really start back dating for another maybe 6 months, unless, you know, we let life do its thing. I said, don't say what you won't never do. But my goal is to maybe hold off on the dating until about maybe the 6 to 8 months, then I can really focus on that. But I am open to just friends. Like, you know, if I do meet a man who's understanding, like, hey, I'm rebuilding, resetting, and not really into seriously dating right now, you know, especially even on a friends level, like if it's just, I don't see it beneficial to me, I don't even really want to be friends for real, you know. But if it's a friendship where like good vibes, good energy, and I feel like I'm benefiting from you being around me, just like you benefiting from me being around you in a friendly, cordial manner, cool, fine, dandy, I'm cool with that because I am human. We do sometimes need that human interaction, but for the most part, I am locked in, super locked in. So that's that. Also, I wanted to interact with you guys. Like, hey, let me know what type of videos you guys want. I don't know what to give y'all because I don't want to just make it a lifestyle channel. I do want to be informative. We're going to talk about some Army stuff. We're going to talk about some personal stuff. And some stuff just might be entertaining. I don't know. But this is something I said I want to do, so I'm going to stay consistent with it. And I did not talk about why I wanted to do the reset era in the first place. And so I talked about how I am in my reset era. I talked about how, you know, I made the decision to go ahead and join the Army, but I didn't really dive deep into why I even decided I needed a reset era. I think I touched bases a little bit on a previous video, but for me, it was just, I think I did talk about it. I just wasn't where I felt like I wanted to be. And it's not necessarily about what people think of you or what people, you know, see on the outside, like, hey, I think you're doing good. Like me, I'm my biggest critic. A lot of you guys, if you don't know, I'm an artist as well. I really did slow down on the music, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of got discouraging. I don't want to say I gave up or am giving up, but I do feel like I'm at the age and stage of life where it's just like I only can really invest my time and money into things that I'm gonna see a definite return in. And of course, there's a lot of things that I shoulda, coulda, woulda did to be better, but you don't know until you know. So it's just one of them things. And I just feel like if it's for me, it's still gonna happen. And if it's not, it's just not. And maybe that was just an experience in a chapter of my life that God just wanted me to have for whatever reason, right? I might still record some stuff, but the vibe, I'm thinking, you know, for fun. I think it's, even though, you know, but I think that if I do get back in the studio, it's definitely just going to be for fun, just for my supporters. Definitely, I don't think it's going to be something that I would really push heavy, but that is my first love for sure. But I just felt like it was time for me to transition into something more adulty. And I do enjoy being an entrepreneur, so just more focusing on that, diving in more on that. Something that I know for sure I'm going to get a return in. Being an artist and a female and having morals could be a lot on you, especially independently. And I'm not, this is no shade to anybody or whatever, you know, get it how you live. But for me, just my personal experience, especially I've been pursuing music for maybe like 10 plus years, right? And it just, I guess, maybe I thought it was my calling, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just something that I like to do and I took it too far. I don't know. Maybe I took this army shit too far. I don't know. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being in the army. I am going back to school. I'll make another video when I feel like it's appropriate to tell you guys what I'm going to school for. Maybe the school may not tell you until I graduate. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But that's where I am right now, guys. So my focus right now is just to stay locked in, stay dedicated to the goal, stay dedicated to the vision. I'm so excited about the things that I'm working on. I'm only probably really going to share this here, maybe a little bit on TikTok, and that's that. So make sure you subscribe so you can get that. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Make sure you guys are dropping comments about like what do you want to see more of, what do you want to see me touch bases on, what are some questions maybe if even if it's army related that you want me to answer because you're just curious or you want to join, or just anything that strikes your mind. Yeah guys, I'm super tired, so if I feel like I'm just rambling on, I probably am just rambling on. As far as I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but I wanted to give y'all something because I dropped my video maybe like 2 weeks ago, and we need to stay consistent with the videos. Yeah, so that's that. I will touch back bases with you guys maybe in the next week or so, but always look in the short sections and make sure you follow me on TikTok, because TikTok is where I post more frequently. If I think about anything else, I'll come back. But yeah, that's what I really want to touch bases on. My weekend, just me resetting, moving back to Houston. A lot of people think that I initially moved to Houston when I first left my hometown, and I did not. I had an Airbnb in Houston, then I moved to San Antonio. I was running my Airbnbs and I had a day job. A lot of people don't know that either. So not only was I pursuing music, not only was I running my short-term rentals, but I also was a substance abuse counselor, which I counsel people who was addicted to substances. So I moved with my company from West Palm Beach when I decided to move to Texas. I went to San Antonio first. Shouts out to San Antonio, just wasn't a city for me. It just wasn't for me. Yeah, but I always enjoyed being a counselor. I thought that I was gonna get into that deeper, but I had a real negative experience. So let me give y'all a bacon story over here. So I was a substance abuse counselor while I was pursuing music, and an entrepreneur while in my hometown, which is Miami, Florida. And I've always been a person that just made sure I was getting money 5 ways. It's just what it is with me. So I was doing that. Then I realized I kind of went through a breakup, and I realized that I needed something new. I'm always doing this whole rebranding new thing, so this is nothing new. I went through a breakup. I was already traveling back and forth with my rental, and my first rental wasn't even in Houston. My first rental was in Dallas, in Euless. Shout out to Euless. So my first rental was in Euless, Texas. So it was just close to Dallas. So I kept traveling back and forth for that. I still was working my job as a counselor. Really enjoyed it. It was in West Palm Beach, but I used to drive back and forth an hour to and from work. I used to have to be to work at 4:20 in the morning. I used to get off about 1:30 p.m. So I did that. Driving back and forth. Still pursuing my music, investing, spending money, doing things for music. Mind y'all, this is legitimate, hard-earned money, not selling vagina. So I'm going back and forth to work, driving back and forth an hour, 2 hours from, waking up early in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, just to get to work at 4:20. Also going to the studio, paying for studio time, and funding my whole music career. Then I got the bright idea, was like, I need to double up on my money, because at first I was selling women's clothing. If you know, you know. If you bought something from me, shouts out to you. That kind of was moving slow. I like big money, big transactions. So after COVID, I thought about, before COVID even hit, I was already doing the research. COVID came, bada boom, bada bing. I had the opportunity to go ahead and start my short-term rental company. That's why you're supposed to prepare. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I was already doing my research, so that way when the opportunity came, COVID came, then the opportunity came for me to start something. Instead of investing it back in my clothing, I see the clothing wasn't really moving well. So I said, hey, this is the perfect opportunity. I already been doing my research anyway. So I was already preparing. God already knew it was time for me to transition from the clothing. So I got my first unit in Euless. So I was traveling back and forth to that, doing that. I had so much fun. With that business. I like that business actually. I don't think I ever will become a realtor. I just never say never, like I would. But I don't know if the realtor thing is for me, but I like doing the short-term rentals, right? So I did that, and then I started to expand. Then I opened one in Houston, right? So I opened one in Houston. I still was traveling back and forth, but I didn't open one in Houston until I decided to make the concrete decision to move, literally like move from my hometown. The reason why I opened it in Houston was kind of sort of a mistake. I thought I was moving to Houston because I had put in a letter of resignation because I asked my job before I even left my job in West Palm, like, hey, I need a raise. You keep telling me I'm doing good. I'm driving an hour back and forth. What we doing? What are we talking about? They was kind of dragging their feet with the raise. I'm like, I'm going to give myself a raise. Hello. So I thought I was moving to Houston, and then the very same day that I was giving in my resignation letter to say, hey, I already gonna sign the lease. I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna be in this town anymore. I no longer can be with you guys. My program director, really cool, shouts out to Tina. She was like, I got you the raise. That's before I even told her I was gonna resign. I was gonna tell her at the end of the day. She was like, hey, come in my office, have a meeting with this lady. We finna confirm the raise. I'm like, oop. I was actually just gonna give you my letter of resignation. And she said, please don't do that. You're gonna make me look bad because I fought for you so hard for you to get this raise. I'm like, but they don't have a location in Houston. So they only had a location in Dallas and San Antonio. I said, okay, let me go to Dallas. I'll make this an Airbnb. Say, I'm a problem solver. Let's go to Dallas. Dallas, because the whole COVID thing was still going on. There was short staff because so many people had left, and bada boom, bada bing. She said, I'm so sorry. This is after I had already got to Houston setting up this Airbnb because I'm thinking I'm about to head to Dallas. I already left at this point. While I'm in Houston, she's like, I'm so sorry. We can't give you Dallas anymore. The only open option is San Antonio. So at that moment, I had to make an executive decision. I felt like that decision wasn't solely me. I kind of listened to my mom. Shout out to my mom. She only be wanting what's best for me, so I can't even blame it on that. But I also feel like at some point in your life, you got to make your own decisions and lay in your own bed, whether it's the right decision or wrong decision at the end of the day. So my mom was like, okay, you already making money. Why leave your day job? Keep your day job for security. Make your money with the short-term rentals. Bada boom, bada bing. Hey, just the other city, which is San Antonio, ain't not but a couple hours away. So I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Because I really wanted to expand and open up a hookah lounge. So I was thinking like, okay, keep flipping my money with the short-term rentals to the hookah lounge, but I need the time. Like certain businesses, you just can't work a day job. And I just felt like I just really needed the time to dedicate to that. And then she was pushing like, hey, I think you should keep the day job. You do that job so well. But that was the moment that I should have pivoted. But listening to other people, sorry mom, I know you just wanted the best for me, but listening to other people, it got me caught in that job loop instead of dedicating all my time and energy to something else. But everything happened for a reason because we don't know why I didn't go that route. However, I kept the day job. I said, all right, I'm gonna set up the Airbnb in Houston, go to San Antonio, went to San Antonio, got a nice place, really nice place. I always wanted to stay downtown. I stayed like downtown San Antonio, ceiling to floor windows. It was just superb, right? But in my mind, I already said, if I don't like this place, I'm gonna flip this too and make it an Airbnb. I went to San Antonio. Shouts out to San Antonio, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So that's what I did. I set up the Airbnb there, another Airbnb there. I met somebody at my job at San Antonio. He was actually gonna be the program director. I know this might confuse a lot of people, but just keep going. Go with me. Let's roll with the story. So he was gonna be the program director in Dallas. He was like, I remember your name. They did say he was supposed to come. It was an issue there. I love the way you work. I love your grind. I love your hustle. I love your organization. I love your professionalism. I want to bring you to Dallas under my wing, right? He was working with me in San Antonio, but they were making him the new program director. So he said, come to Dallas. So I, happy-go-lucky, follow his to Dallas. Go to Dallas. This man made my life a living hell. I feel like this kind of was the triggering moment that leads me here where I am today. But I end up following him in Dallas. At first I'm like, damn, should I really do that? That's another lesson I want you to take from this. Never uproot your life for someone else unless that's absolutely what you wanted to do. Although I originally wanted to move to Dallas, but I had already made decisions, and Dallas was just out the window, right? So I let this man talk me into it. No, it's no situation like that, nothing like that at all. It was just me thinking like, okay, I didn't like San Antonio. I know I wanted to leave San Antonio anyway. So he kept saying Dallas, 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 and I was like, but damn, I did want to go to Dallas. At the end, like when it was close for me to leave, I was like, I don't know. I don't think I should do that. He was like, come on. I let him talk me into uprooting my life and moving to Dallas. I moved to Dallas to work at this man's treatment center where he was the program director. I get there maybe after the first month or two. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing so much. For whatever reason, to this day, I do not know, guys. This man started making my life a living hell. I really messed up when I told him I had short-term rentals. So the whole time I used to work at my jobs, I never told these people what I had going on outside of that. I started getting comfortable because he was cool. I'm like, yeah. And then he would see me in rentals. Another thing I didn't tell you guys is that when I got to Houston, maybe like 3 weeks after I moved to Houston, I totaled my car. A whole nother story. I didn't automatically get a new car because I was also in the process of trying to get a house. And they told me, you can't get a car right now. It was a whole bunch of... So I was in rentals, right? Rentals. I'm trying to hurry up and with the home buying process so that I can get the vehicle that I want, right? A whole shit show, okay? Just me. No assistant, no nothing, no man to lean on, to cry on. Just me and trauma dumping on my mama every now and then, right? So I got all of this shit going on. So I moved to Dallas. So I made Airbnb there. Went to Dallas. After the first month or so, everything was going good. After the first month or so, my new caseload, my patients loving me. I'm doing great. I'm helping people, saving lives, all of the good stuff. This man started making my life a living hell, reporting me to HR for the stupidest stuff that he didn't even speak to me directly about. He would just go to HR and just complain about the stupidest, minute shit. For the life of me to this day, y'all, I cannot comprehend. And no, it was nothing sexual. It was nothing like that. I cannot comprehend to this day. However, so that was that. So we started just making little gestures and jokes about, oh, big money this and big money that, and why you always in a rental car, or I feel like you live a double life. When he started saying stuff like that, I knew I had a problem on my hands. He kept reporting me to HR. It just became a problem. And to this point, my work environment just started to be toxic. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm making money. I'm getting money, right? So I'm like, I'm out of here. Why I did that? I said, I'm out of here. I'm lying. No, I'm not lying. So after I left that place, I did leave that job. I resigned. Before I left Dallas, I said, let me try one more thing before I leave this city. I had got another substance abuse counseling job at Hutchins State Prison. Shouts out to Hutchins. I did not like it. I probably worked there for 3 weeks. The first 2 weeks was training, and maybe 1 week and a half actually being there. Absolutely hated it. Anything dealing with corrections, even though I wasn't a correctional officer, I was a counselor within the prison, right, for the inmates. Me personally, that's just not me, my personality. I just did not feel comfortable. I did not feel safe. I did not like it. That's not my thing. Shouts out to the CEOs and everybody who can work in those environments. As for me, it's just not for me, not my thing. And then I don't like how, I just felt very unsafe. I just don't like it. I just feel like my life was just out there, and it's like protocol, get it how you live if something happened. And sorry not to toot my own horn, but I am a very attractive woman, and I am shapely, and throw me in the box, in the cage with the wolves. And so basically when I would have my counseling sessions, either they come into your office or you go into their Bay Area thing, and they just close the goddamn door and they see you through the glass. And every time you want to get out, you got to make sure you get the guard attention so they can buzz you in, buzz you out. Sometimes they don't be paying attention. I didn't like that. I personally just didn't like that, didn't feel safe, it just wasn't my thing. Aside from that, so I'm like, okay, I have to leave this place, don't like it. But at the same time, all of a sudden, the short-term rental, aka Airbnb industry began to crash, right? So now I have these units, and the properties are telling me, hey, we no longer want these Airbnbs here. We're gonna have to have you to stop the business that you have going on. So y'all, I'm paying for rent that I can't even have people stay at because they watching me like a hawk. I tried, like one time they told me, I'm like, yeah, okay. Then I stopped for a little month and I started sneaking, I don't want to say sneaking back in. But, you know, come on. Money is being wasted. I started to let people book it again. And then they like, ma'am, we're going to have to ask you either to stop expeditiously or you're going to have to leave. So now I have these spaces that I'm paying rent on, paying overhead on, and nobody's occupying them. Dumb. So that's the downside of entrepreneurship that nobody talk about. And I actually never even told the story. I don't even know how we got in here, but maybe that's the whole purpose of this video. So now, guys, I have these units. I'm paying overhead, and no one can occupy them. And little by little, they say, hey, break the lease. You got to pay 2-3 bands. I want to speak proper English. 2,000-3,000, or you just can't. You can stay here, but nobody can use it. So that's just wait. I done spent money on rent when nobody was there. It's eating up. I say, oh my God. So that's the part that nobody prepared you for. And also, y'all, I'm going through all of this while also I had done left that place and I had done left that place. I said, oh my God, we got a real big problem on our hands. So I started going through a lot of that stuff behind the scenes, and I never really shared this with anybody. All my entrepreneurs and business owners, if you get it, you get it. So that's what I was going through this roller coaster of something I had never experienced in a whole nother city where I had no real support in the same city as me. So I'm going here, going there, I'm trying to figure out this, still paying rent here, then gotta move stuff, started moving stuff out of one place. I gotta either move the places or pay these movers all of this money to move this, then take it to the store. So I'm dealing with all of this stuff behind the scenes, y'all. And then the savings that I did have eating up. I'm like, okay, so I ended up moving back to Houston. I had one Airbnb left. I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm here. I had to close down all my locations. I'm at my last place, and this is a real life. This is no sugarcoating, no dressing it up. I'm just being transparent. This is a part of entrepreneurship that a lot of people don't talk about. They don't want to say or show because whatever. I'm not here to pretend. It is what it is. I've been up, I've been down. I grew up with having things, so I don't mind sharing this because maybe it could help somebody. So yeah, so I ended up having to close down my Airbnbs, and then I met a woman and a guy who kind of brought this idea upon me. They were just talking. I met a guy. He said he was going for XYZ reasons. He was like, hey, you should do it too. You know, you dealing with all of this anyway. I think this might be a good idea for you. It took a lot of convincing. Then in the midst of that, I had lost a really near and dear friend to me, Rest Well, Tosca, Marie Johnson. That just also in the midst of me going through what I was already going through. Then she passed away. She was in the Air Force. And it started making me think about an option again. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I felt like I heard her in my head, like, girl, do this, you know? So I went ahead and did it. And it just made sense to me. Not to say that was my only option, but it just made sense to me. It was like, why not? And for whatever my personal reasons, that I felt like it's beneficial to me, I'm like, let's do this. And then we're gonna restart, we're gonna reset, we're gonna start over, and we're gonna come back bigger and better. And here I am. So if that man would have never made my life a living hell, I probably wouldn't even be here, right? But I started looking at my options and making 1 + 1 = 2, and did what I felt like needed to be done, and make an executive decision and make the best choice for me and my future. And I felt like, hey, this is gonna take me to a certain level that I need to be able to do X, Y, Z. And that's what I did. And here we are, resetting in my reset era. I hope this video helped somebody. That was a lot. I just trauma dumped on y'all. That was a lot, and I never said it out loud. So kudos to me. So yeah, now we're here, and now I'm a specialist in the Army Reserves. Yeah. Okay, bye y'all. I gotta take a shower and make my dinner. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and be back for my next upload. Again, follow me on TikTok. It's the same name, Black Girl Luxury. Make sure you check out my shorts. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.